I always follow 4-step process. Firstly, I will assessing what exact problem and what I want to achieve, meaning I will make all things clarified and clear, as this is the main important one before solving the problem. Secondly, I will evaluate the option that I have listed before solving the problem. Thirdly, I will implement the action needed to solve all the problem. Lastly, I will assessing back what caused all this problem to happen with a view to preventing it from happening again. When I was working as a food delivery in my area, I had a customer who ordered food online. So I went to the place that the food have been ordered to collect it, but I found that the food had already been taken by someone else. So what I did is I need to call the customer to tell about the food, as asking the customer whether she is still interested on the same food. After that, I called another store that sell the same food that the customer want, and then ask and tell the customer to wait for another 10 minutes. Lastly, after I deliver the food to the customer, I found out that the customer give me a high rating for my services, and I feel relieved that I did a great job for it. First, I will write all the possible decisions on the sheet of the paper. Next, I will divide it into half and label one side with pros and another side with cons. Then I will list down all the pros and cons in each column. After that, I will try to implement the positive and negative decision and assign a positive and negative value to each decision. Lastly, I will add up all the score to each column, and if the positive one show that I should go ahead with the decision, and if a negative one, I should stop or discard it. I will handle them by following 4-step process. First, I will listening to them to get to the bottom of their complaint or dissatisfaction, meaning I will use my effective listening skill to show that I genuinely care. Second, I will ask probing question to gain a total clarify on the issue. Third, I will be apologize if the company was at fault before moving on. Last, I will offer to a several resolution to their complaint. For example, as a lab assistant, I will prepare myself by looking up and monitor experiment and tests in research and medical laboratory, meaning like I will look out like journal article about the experiment in medical or research journal. And then because this kind of job will analyze data and make report based on the result of the test. This job also will set up equipment and clean up lab room following a research experiment. So later on, when I apply to this kind of job, I already prepare myself with all this information. During my second year at USD, I have my electronic project, which is I need to produce an application by using 7-segment display, print circuit board, soldering, and so on. So at first, my team idea was to make a hot sauna, which to show the number of hot sauna was used, the quantity or number of hot sauna was used. So, but there was an error and failure, so we cannot proceed the project. It was my responsibility to do the project as I was a team leader and the due date was around the corner. So we discussed first among us to and decide what are the options, and then last we meet our lecturer to ask her opinion also and give out a little more time to us and chance to us. At last, we success to present the project on time by come up with a solution to make a boxing cage which show the number of point of the player. First, I will ask my manager what feature or requirement and what my company budget is. After that, with this information, I will start doing my research or review about the software and to check whether this software meet with our requirement and within the budget. After that, I will list down the pros and cons to see the negative or positive side with this software, and then I will narrow down with a top recommendation of this software and tell my manager why this option was the best. There was a situation during this pandemic era. Government have given up a statement that there will be a conditional movement control order for 1 month. So this is quite a long period. So my mom told me to go back home. But as a student, I have my responsibility for my final year project. So first I asked my supervisor permission, the idea for me to go back home, and then the supervisor allow me. After that, I call my parents to tell how my situation and condition. Then I call the nearest police station to ask about the cross authorization letter. So then I went to the police station to get the letter and then tell the reason why I want to go back home. On the same day, I success to packing all my stuff since the letter is valid for 1 day. And at last, I success to go back home by driving alone. And this is quite a new experience for me as I never driving alone by myself. So this experience I will never forget it.